Let's get started. Good afternoon, judges, case representatives, and NSF. We would firstly like to take this opportunity to thank you all for this incredible experience. We are extremely delighted to be partnered with USA Fencing for this project, and we've all felt very privileged putting together this presentation that has the opportunity to grow the organisation sustainably for years to come. Fencing is such a wonderful and unique sport, which requires a unique approach when trying to grow. We considered standard strategic marketing programs, but believe we have developed a creative solution for USA Fencing that is as unique as the sport itself. We hope you enjoy our presentation as much as we have all enjoyed putting this together. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce the members of Team C. I'm the captain and I'm Noah, and I'm joined by Bridie, Jack, and Ruby. We have a lot of content and exciting ideas to get through, which we're super passionate about. So I think we should jump straight in, handing over to my colleague, Ruby.
Thank you, Noah, and thank you, judges, for this incredible opportunity. So our primary goal isn't to just grow membership by 4,000 members. It's about creating opportunities for young athletes to discover their passion and potential through fencing. Every new member represents someone finding belonging, challenge, and joy in a sport that may change their life. Our second outcome is to build a sustainable marketing strategy with 3 tailored approaches. With a 50% return on investment, this ensures that fencing can continue to thrive, reaching new audiences and growing beyond the initial year. Most importantly, however, we aim to cultivate a strong and connected community within our clubs. This campaign isn't just about fencing, it's about forming lasting bonds between athletes, families, and coaches, building a support system where young people feel valued and inspired to keep coming back year after year. Our objective is ambitious but achievable. With an $80,000 budget, we're not just driving numbers, we're inspiring a movement. This campaign opens doors for young athletes to explore a unique sport that fosters discipline, focus, and connection. Throughout this presentation, we'll show you how our strategy targets both established fencing hubs and untapped markets, building not just membership, but a legacy, where fencing becomes a meaningful part of more lives, more communities, and more futures. USA Fencing's strengths lie in its ability to attract niche audiences and provide a unique pathway to athletic scholarships. However, unlike mainstream sports with broader recognition, fencing requires a highly targeted marketing approach. Our strategy focuses on tapping into the sport's growing youth audience while addressing budget constraints and competition from other sports, ensuring that we maximize impact and achieve sustainable growth. To create a truly impactful campaign, we must first understand the current market landscape. Fencing's strongest membership base is concentrated in key metropolitan hubs such as New York, Boston, and Los Angeles, where events and memberships drive significant revenue. However, there are untapped opportunities in other major cities like Chicago, where fencing remains relatively underdeveloped. By expanding our presence into these new areas, we can spark interest, foster growth, and bring the sport to new communities. This outreach will be critical in achieving our goal, opening doors for young athletes to experience the unique challenges and rewards of fencing. Now let's have a look at some key market trends. So post-COVID, USA Fencing has experienced significant membership growth with an impressive 68.1% increase from 2020 to 2024. And a 4.9% increase from the 2023 to 2024 season. Notably, youth participation among athletes aged 7 to 17 has been particularly robust, highlighting schools as a critical touchpoint for our campaign. It's also important to note that while male membership is continuing to increase and remains the highest overall, we're still seeing a significant uptake of female participation as well. This is really encouraging, yet we must continue to prioritize strategies aimed at increasing female participation and membership to ensure long-term diversity within the sport. Most members identify as white or prefer not to disclose, with numbers around 40,000 members. Asian and Asian American members form the largest minority with memberships over 20,000. Black and Hispanic groups remain underrepresented, offering a key opportunity for a more inclusive outreach that reflects the broader community. So our team, Team C, has selected to go for the Chicago market approach, given the incredible opportunities for growth and the implementation of new clubs. We have chosen this approach over a market penetration strategy, primarily due to budget constraints. However, our versatile campaign aims to gain new members in Chicago, leveraging strategies that can be replicated again in other major cities. This not only ensures long-term sustainability, but also enhances the visibility of the sport as we can reinvest the revenue generated from increased memberships into providing this campaign and program across the country. The beauty of this approach is its scalability. Success in Chicago will not only generate new membership, but also provide momentum and resources to expand this program into other cities. With each new member, we're not just adding to a roster, we're growing a community, creating lifelong connections, and paving the way for fencing's visibility and success across the country. This investment today lays the foundation for a legacy that can continue to thrive well beyond this initial year. Despite multiple fencing facilities, membership is much lower in Chicago than other major cities, revealing a clear market gap. With the city's high population density and existing infrastructure, we can efficiently scale membership. Achieving our overarching goal of 4,000 new members will unlock over 50% return on investment, making this a highly viable expansion. I'll now hand over to Bridie to outline the next steps.
Thanks, Ruby, and good afternoon, distinguished judges. The personas were developed by recognizing trends in the sport, such as school-age children with highest participation, women in sport growth, and the conversion of STEM interests to fencing. Amani is an energetic fourth grader who loves to try new things. Her family is very involved in the church and the community, and her parents encourage her to find activities that will build her confidence and mental strength and that align with their values. Amani would love to be involved in a sport that encourages diversity and inclusivity. James is a high-achieving sophomore at a private school with strong academic values. He is passionate about science and technology, actively involved in the robotics club, and wishes to attend a prestigious university. James loves activities that involve strategy and critical thinking, as well as sports that challenge him mentally and physically. He's looking to improve his transcript and set himself apart from others on his college applications. Sophia is a senior in high school, actively involved in her community and women empowerment. She's involved in the debate club and volunteers for numerous cultural organizations. She's interested in a sport that fosters a sense of community and provides opportunities for women. She's also binged the Wednesday Addams reboot and loved it. And Eric's the dad of 2 young kids. He values education, inclusivity, and diversity and opportunities. He's an actively involved parent, being a dedicated member of the PTA, and is passionate about STEM education that will enrich his children's growth and development. He's interested in supporting programs that foster discipline, strategy, and physical activity. The first approach in our marketing strategy is to create a 2-week interactive poster art campaign designed to generate mass visibility and awareness of the sport of fencing in Chicago over 5 locations and social media platforms. This campaign is called Beyond the Blade. These posters will capture the exhilarating nature of fencing in front of Chicago city landmarks. The inclusion of a QR code will encourage tangible engagement, and at completion will result in 1,000 new memberships. We recognized the niche and distinctiveness of fencing and sought to create an unexpected and equally distinctive campaign to capture our audience's attention and intrigue. Street posters are an effective way to reach a mass audience and provoke consumer action, while social media is more targeted. Posters, when placed strategically, allow us to attract curious passerbys, especially those who might not encounter fencing through conventional media channels. These approaches place our campaign in the face of our consumers. It's eye-catching, fosters intrigue, and incites action, perfect for the promotion of a sport that isn't mainstream. The execution of this campaign can be consolidated into 3 steps: the creation, the distribution, and the evaluation. The creation involves community partnerships with a photographer to capture the image and a digital marketing agency to design 5 different posters. The distribution will be handled by Wild Postings that organises street printing and delivery to heavy pedestrian areas, and then our social media manager will post across Facebook and Instagram. The evaluation encompasses the engagement and reach, measuring numbers of scans and signups. The inspiration for our design comes from the recent Paris Olympics, where Matthew Forget, also known as the Flying Man, combined sport and art to capture fences in movement in an art gallery in Paris. Our interpretation of this concept combines USA fences and iconic landmarks of Chicago. We'll collaborate with Cole Suter, a Chicago photographer who is known for his urbanscape and action photography, and then utilize Wild Postings, an environmentally sustainable Chicago company, to distribute our posters to high foot traffic locations which meet our demographic profiles. We've reached out to both parties to receive quotes and cross-reference these to ensure they align with industry standards. We've created some incredible poster mock-ups, prioritizing thought provocation whilst tying in prominent Chicago landmarks such as Cloud Gate and the Field Museum. We've also designed some national mock-ups to showcase how this campaign could be used nationwide, as seen in the appendix. These posters will be 72 inches long by 48 inches wide. The visual nature of these posters captures attention, while the QR code provides a call to action. In combination with our broader campaign, they leave a memorable impression in the mind of Chicagoans. The QR code will take you to the Beyond the Blade information page, where you can learn more, find your local club, and discover a first month free trial. QR code engagement data will be collected to deepen consumer data for USA's fencing CRM, providing further value from the campaign. The 5 locations we have selected were based on average daily visitors and the demographic of those being families, parents, and children and youth. The total daily visitors in the 2-week campaign period is 1.6 million. We expect that 1% of viewers will scan the QR code, 25% of those to sign up for the first month free trial, and then a 25% conversion to paid memberships. The entirety of their campaign will take approximately 2 months to create, implement, and evaluate, from December of 2024 to January of 2025. We've calculated the total cost of the poster campaign will be $31,200. I will now pass over to my colleague, Jack.
Thank you, Bridie, and good afternoon, esteemed judges and representatives. It is with my utmost honour to present to you our second approach, the Future Fences School Program. This method is a 3-tiered approach that engages students from all educational institutions by introducing the basic fencing principles in elementary schools and then progressing the professionalism of the sport to middle school, high school, and college-age students respectively. Our approach aims to introduce fencing at the aforementioned school levels with the target of gaining approximately 3,000 plus members from this approach. In elementary schools, we'll introduce fencing through modified foam equipment such as soft foam épées, allowing young children to experience the dynamic movements of fencing while minimising the risk of injury. This draws inspiration from the 2-4-1 play approach that utilises pool noodles and safety goggles, along with simplified rules to teach foundational fencing skills in a fun, play-based environment. For just $1,500, our program expands on the 2-4-1 play approach by simulating professional fencing on a larger scale due to the affordability and safety of the equipment, all while teaching basic principles like lunging and footwork. The goal is to make fencing fun and engaging, opening the students' eyes to the world of fencing. For middle and high schools, we'll elevate the program by introducing lightweight, flexible plastic sabres that mimic the size and weight of real fencing equipment, but are designed to prevent misuse and ensure safety. These modified plastic swords are safer and more cost-effective than professional equipment, being $6,800 for 200 plastic sets. This allows students to experience basic fencing technology and learn more advanced principles such as parades and attacks. This progression helps build discipline and motivates students to get involved with local fencing clubs. At the college level, we'll use official fencing equipment and technology as colleges can invest in higher quality gear. College-age participants transitioning to said professional equipment will only do so under the direct supervision of experienced coaches, whilst being fully covered in protective gear. We will provide the electronic scoring systems and protective gear sets for a total of $16,500. This will be the first time students practice with a full setup in a fun, informal environment. The aim here is to establish social clubs, giving students the chance to develop their skills while making friends that creates a community of fences within a sociable and encouraging college environment. Please see Appendix 1 for further information. Now, for our targeting strategy, we'll focus on several key markets. Students involved in chess clubs are our ideal candidates to try fencing, as it has been regarded as the chess game of the sports arena, due to its disciplined body and mind control nature rather than physical exertion. Similarly, students involved in STEM subjects often target colleges and may look for additional pathways to enter these prestigious programs. Therefore, they may be drawn to fencing's problem-solving and strategic challenges. Hence, this approach targets students from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, particularly those seeking college scholarships, as this target market is consistently and significantly underrepresented in competitive fencing. Lastly, fans of the hit Netflix show Wednesday may be inspired to try fencing due to the pop culture influence and the main character's fencing prowess. As you can see from these three maps, we have the breakdown of Chicago's current school and college locations, in addition to the locations of Chicago's current fencing clubs. The map on the right depicts the current Chicago fencing club situation, with the large circle demonstrating the untapped market on which new clubs could be introduced. This circle coincides with universities such as Dominican University and Concordia University Chicago, as well as high schools within the West Side School District. From these identified gaps in the current landscape of Chicago, we propose to set up 5 new clubs within Chicago's West, as many of the current clubs are all positioned on the East Coast. These new clubs will be positioned in Elmwood Park, Oak Park, Cicero, Lincolnwood, and the Lyons-Stickney area, as these places are far enough away from the current clubs and each other, whilst each having fairly dense populations. Additionally, as you can see from the map, we have overlaid the current school landscape over top the current fencing clubs in Chicago. This is to identify potential candidate schools such as Morton East High School in Cicero or Oak Park and River Forest High School in Oak Park. The new clubs could use the names, logos, and colours that coincide with the school's branding to promote the schools themselves, whilst providing the direct channel to the students and required infrastructure within their gymnasiums. To support these efforts, USA Fencing can pursue grants from initiatives like the McCormack Foundation and Chicago Sports Alliance, which offer sporting grants averaging $437,000. This funding would provide crucial financial support to help establish and sustain the new clubs. Now, this approach will only be feasible through the partnership with Chicago's current and future potential local fencing clubs. The current Chicago clubs include these 6 that will partner with the local elementary, middle, and high schools to provide the aforesaid-directed programs. With this, all 11 new and current clubs have the opportunity to join our approach, which recommends 1 school visit per club each week. This will take place during the school's designated PE sessions and will be tailored around fencing. This will accumulate to a total of approximately 400 school visits within 2025, reaching approximately 215,000 students. With a conservative retention rate of 1.5%, approximately over 3,000 students will sign up to a USA Fencing affiliated club. The initial students will be guided to sign up with one of the new 5 clubs, with the remaining numbers filling spots in one of the 6 pre-existing Chicago clubs. We are aiming for at least 100 members in each to ensure sustainability. Please see Appendix 5 for further information. Now, safety is one of our top priorities in our Future Fences School program, though we recognise that injuries may still occur. Recognising the importance of safety and liability, we will collaborate with USA Fencing and local education authorities to ensure full compliance with insurance and liability requirements. Any injuries will likely be covered by the specific school district's general liability policies that address costs such as hospital visits, surgeries, and rehabilitation. Additionally, all students will be covered by USA Fencing Sport Accident Insurance, as our programs are run by USA Fencing affiliated clubs. This insurance policy provides up to $25,000 in medical coverage for injuries. To further mitigate injury risks, coaches must complete USA Fencing's Foundation of Fencing coaching course, undergo a comprehensive background check via Child Care Aware of America, and hold a current CPR certificate for physical education teachers. With these measures in place, we will ensure our program is both safe and accessible for all students. I'll now pass back on to my colleague, Noah.
Thanks, Jack. Now, our third and final approach is the Future Fences promotional videos. This approach will be used as a tool to not only promote community fencing in Chicago, but will also be used as a promotional tool for our Future Fences school program. This approach will include famous Chicago-born fencing Olympian Filip Dologovitz to showcase fencing and all it has to offer. We will promote his story about growing up in Chicago and how he was able to make it to the most prestigious sporting stage in the world and compete for Team USA. Creating a story around a hometown hero, appealing to an extremely broad audience within Chicago. This is the 8-step process we have identified to transform this approach from idea to action. Throughout this entire campaign, we will not only work with local fencing Olympians and Philip, but we will employ local videographer Mark Campbell and local editing firm Matchpoint Studios to make this idea come to fruition. We will travel around the local current fencing clubs, shooting a 2-minute video to then send to all Chicago educational institutions and colleges before we post the video to USA Fencing social media, whilst collaborating with both Harvard Fencing social media and Philip's personal page to maximize the outreach and engagement. We have created a basic storyboard concept to showcase the key messages of the video that we would like to convey. As you can see, it will be highly moving and powerful, aimed to prompt viewers to take action and get involved. We want people to see the passion on the screen and feel excited and intrigued about the sport. Once the video has been completed and ready to share, we plan to advertise a number of USA Fencing Olympic clinics with Philip at the local clubs across Chicago. These clinics will be an hour-long demonstration of his skills, along with some question time at the end. This allows for all members of the public to come and witness elite fencing in person and have a go against one of the country's best. After calculating all the appropriate video and clinic costs, the total cost budgeted for the third approach is $12,000. As you can see here, our detailed athlete brief highlights the expectations of Philip once agreeing to come on board as an ambassador for both the video shoot and the clinics. The details provided highlight that there is very minimal preparation needed from Philip, and he will be handsomely compensated for his time. We have 4 main KPIs for this program that will be used when analysing its success. The most important KPI overall is the number of memberships gained during the campaign, with the target being 4,000 new members. Our next KPI focal point is the quality of the Future Fencing program sessions, as this has a direct relationship on the uptake into the clubs. The quality will be assessed via surveys of school kids, teachers, and parents. The next KPI is the engagement with the poster campaign, seeking to gain 1,000 new members converting from the free trials. The final KPI from the program is the amount of schools that view the video, with the goal being at least 800 schools to view the video and over 400 to adopt the program. We can also track the digital engagement of the video on the USA Fencing platform based on its online engagement. We have calculated that across all 3 campaigns, with the planning costs and implementation fees for all equipment and contractors, the total budget cost comes to $80,000. This can be broken down into the 3 different campaign costs, which can then be used as a guide when wanting to implement on a national scale. Our interactive poster art campaign is budgeted to cost a total of $31,200. The Future Fences school program is budgeted to cost $34,800. And lastly, the Future Fences promotional video and clinics is budgeted for $12,500. We have allocated a very marginal amount of $1,500 for contingencies as a backup to support our approaches if needed. The revenue is calculated with the baseline social membership price being an average, generating a minimum of $120,000 if all 4,000 members got a minimum of the social membership for $30. This provides significant opportunity within the program to reinvest back into the sport and continue the growth beyond the program on a larger scale. Our project roadmap outlines the key phases required to successfully launch and sustain our fencing program, offering a clear visual guide through each step of implementation, spanning a 12-month timeline. The campaign will be executed in distinct phases to ensure strategic focus, timely adjustments, and measurable results. By phasing the rollout of our campaign in this manner, we ensure that each step builds on the previous one, creating momentum and setting the foundation for prosperous longevity. This roadmap offers both structure and flexibility, allowing us to stay focused on the goals whilst allowing room for minor adjustments that may be needed. Now, in conclusion, we have thoroughly enjoyed working on this campaign and coming up with a sustainable solution that, when successful, can be replicated time and time again across the country, bringing fencing to the forefront in the sporting landscape. On behalf of myself, Jack, Bridie, and Ruby, we would like to thank you all for the opportunity to work on this project. We would love to hear your feedback and be more than happy to take any questions that you have for us now.